How about now? Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me now. Yeah? No audio, no sound. Please tell me if you can hear me now. Mic check, mic check. Zero noise. What is going on here? Is my mute on? No. Everything says, oh, okay. Okay, now we're good to go. Awesome. Okay, cool. So, all right, listen up. Let me just get this out of the way. Joe and Sandy aren't here tonight. Maybe they show up, maybe they don't. It's all right though. I'm excited because if they're not here and I see a couple of my comic friends in the comments, that means that I can talk about some stuff that I want to talk about, which is what I love to do, right? And so let me just preface everything, guys, is that it has been a challenging week to say the least. And I have a very good buddy out there. His name is James. And one of the things he's been harping on is like, man, you've got to have time for yourself. Things can get crazy. And when life is kind of, in one of those modes where it hands you a lot of lemons, he's like, make sure that you just really do some stuff that you feel good about. And so I am taking his advice tonight. And if he's watching, I'm glad. And I hope he can hear the excitement, because honestly, I'm like, oh, I really feel a lot of stuff, but I'm like, you know what I really enjoy? You know what's some of those things that really helps me get a break sometimes? It doesn't turn the dial down for me from a high stress week or anything like that, but it really kind of helps me pause and then go focus on some excitement. And so the stress is there in the background, but I'm like, oh, at least I can put on this and not even put on this mask, but I can really just have some time where I enjoy some things, right? And so I'm excited because I get to talk about two of the favorite things that I love, which is comic books and Christmas, okay? And I absolutely love comic books. Let me tell you a little history about myself. Some of you guys may have heard this, some of you haven't. I used to be a hardcore comic collector back in the 90s, okay? So I was a kid during that time. Huge Spawn fan. Top Cow came out. Really loved it because it was edgy. It was indie. Image had come out also. I was in there with all the first, and I liked Marvel. I was doing a lot of X-Men collecting, Ghost Rider, and then I ended up making stupid young man decisions and lost all my collection, right? So I lost my collection. I was devastated. Then I met someone, and I I tried to restart collecting comics, but it didn't really work out the way like it did the first time. But I met someone who I then married, and I was like, "Oh, I can't do comics. I gotta be a grown up now. I gotta be a big kid, right?" And so I stopped collecting comics for about close to 20 years, 15, 20 years, somewhere between there. And then I came back into the hobby about 2 or 3 years ago, and I found all these cool little ways to collect. And I was like, what? And I learned all these things, right? Like, did you get like, there's CGC. People actually send their comic books to a place that'll review the comic book. I'm like, you're reading a book I don't even ever get to read. You're opening a book I've never even opened. And they'll review it and they'll check all the stuff. And then they give it a grade and they put it in this hard plastic and they say, we'll send it back to you. And I was like, this is a thing. People do this. If you'd have told me this 15 years ago, I would never believe that something like this would be something that people would actually pay money to do. And here I am, I've got my own plastics, comic books in plastics now. I can't open them without fear of damaging them or making the value go down. But some of these, they're not really valuable. Some of them I just love because I love comics, and that's just my thing, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm doing what everyone else does. And then there was some really cool series that came out. There were some landmark issues, comic books that have been going on forever, other comic books that stopped, restarted again. And then there was sadness too in that, right? One of my favorite artists of all time, when I came back and started getting back into comics, I was like, I need to go back and collect. I was like, man, can you imagine the years I've missed of his work? His was beautiful artwork. And then I learned that in 2015 that he passed away. And I was heartbroken. I really heartbroken. His name was Michael Turner. That's his name down there. His art was so spectacular. It really, I cannot describe to you the feelings that it gave me as a young man. Like, I know there's the obvious. He drew a lot of art that was very sexual in nature and stuff. Not really like, it just was beautiful women kind of thing. But the lines in his art, the shading that he used, because it wasn't just women he drew, but he drew like he had this style of art where the armor that he put on his characters was so intricate. It was so detailed. It was so just, man, like it was just impacting, right? Like his style. And anytime you saw his character, you would just know it was a Michael Turner. You could see it and be like, look, I can tell that's a Michael Turner art. And so, but to learn that he passed from cancer in 2015, I was definitely brokenhearted. And so it put me on a course of being like, I need to recollect Michael Turner books, not just the old ones that I've had, Darkness, Witchblade, Aphrodite 9, Tomb Raider, but I need to find some other stuff. And in the meantime, he started his own series. He took one of his comics, Fathom, and created a whole universe called the Aspen universe on it. And it consisted of Fathom and, oh my gosh. So I'm getting a video game called Dying Light mixed up. But anyhow, he created this universe, and it was like, wow. And his art, he started doing DC and Marvel stuff, and I was like, he's done Spider-Man, he's done Batman. I was just like, holy cow, he such an amazing artist. Okay, so anyway, I started recollecting because I wanted to get in touch back with the whole reason I started collecting comics was because it was something that my mom and I did. She really helped kind of give me that, and it was something really sweet, right? Ghost Rider was one of the first comics that I actively bought and started collecting on my own. I spent an hour, 2 hours in the comic shop, and this was back in the day when you could smoke anywhere. And I remember that comic shop. That guy, he had a fake eye, and he had cigarettes that he'd smoke all the time in there. It's so gross. What's up, Tez? What's happening, man? Thanks for coming in here. Thanks. We got Jim. He's saying, put it in hard plastic. The plastic being hard, that's debatable. And then John, thank you. Yes, Mr. CA. For those of you who don't know, CA stands for Comics Anonymous. That is going to be the name of my comic shop when I open it up online on Whatnot. So you will see. Well, I think actually I can't. It'll have to be my name, whichever that is. But maybe I change it later to be a Comics Anonymous. But anyhow, and so I spent so much time in the comic shop, my first comic shop, and I ended up buying Ghost Rider issue 1, volume 2, which was Danny Ketch, right? Love the art, love the bike, the skull on the front, the leather jacket, the chain, the flaming skull. Man, that got, dude, it was freaking awesome, right? And then I read the story. I must have read that story 100 times because it was just so freaking awesome. And I remember when my mom told me, she goes, "Are you serious? Did you choose that one?" So we got in the car. She's like, "You chose that one?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she started crying, and I was like, "Ma, what's going on? ¿Qué pasa?" And she was like, "Your uncle, an uncle who I'd never met, he passed 2 years before I was born, and she and he were very close. He died from, at then they didn't know it was the cancer was called. We call it leukemia now. His favorite character was Ghost Rider, the original Volume 1, Johnny Blaze." And so he loved the Ghost Rider. He had a Ghost Rider comic with him everywhere. And she was like, "So the fact that you chose Ghost Rider, it really touched her heart and stuff, you know." She always said how I reminded her of her younger brother. And so when I chose that comic, she was just like, it was just something sweet. So anyway, that was the start of, 10 years worth of comic collecting and toy buying that my mom did with me. And so I remember just sitting around one day and I was just thinking, man, I really love my mom. I was like, my dad left us and my mom took care of us. And I was like, and my mom, not only did she really try to work hard at whatever she had to give us, but she really made me enjoy comic books. And that was so awesome. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to wait for my mother to pass before I pick this hobby up and collect this and have all these good feelings inside, right? Comics, it's not just about the art, it's not about the stories, the characters, or any of that kind of stuff. For me, it's so much deeper because when I think about comics, it makes me have such positive emotions and feelings and memories of my mom. And my mom is a freaking soldier and super trooper, and she is the first Wonder Woman in my life, right? And so when I see comics, when I think about them, I think of so many positive things with my mom. Getting a little teary-eyed now, right? Because it's my mom. And my mom is still alive. She's still here. but I just have so many good memories of that, right? It makes me feel good. It makes me happy. It brings a smile to my face. And so there's all those other layers that I get on top of it, but I just can't help. The first layer is always mom. Man, I remember when she'd go to Toys R Us or KB's Toys, and she would be waiting for the Spawn toys to get in. And before they put them on the shelves, she would go digging through them. And this was before we had cell phones, so she couldn't text some pictures. She would be like, there is there's an Angela, there's a Spawn, there's a Tremor. And I'd be like, okay, is Angela gold or is she like regular? Is she got a red paint or does she have brown paint? And she was trying hard. And then she would say yes, no, and be like, oh, that's the super secret one. That's only one in every store got one. Yes, grab that for me. And so it was such a fun time to collect the toys too. And just so many good memories, so many positive thoughts, so many positive memories um, of that and my mom, man. So that is where um, like the heart and the love for comics came in. Everything else was added later. The appreciation for the artists. It's so funny being today. So again, today I see so many of the artists who are the big names in the comic world, but back then they were brand new artists when Wizard was coming out and doing spotlights on new and upcoming artists. Michael Turner was number 2, I think, back in '95. Can't remember exactly. Michael Turner was number 2, for example. Jim Lee was on that same list, and he was below Michael Turner even. Jokes out of Brian Michael Bendis, some of these other names. And so to fast forward 20 years, I got married, had kids, moved states, all this stuff. And it was like, wow, these guys actually are big names in the industry now. So, and they're still artists too, but and so it's just so funny. But I love comics. It makes me feel really good. I love seeing the art. Um, Tell me who some of your artists are. Tell me in the comments. Tell me who some of your favorite artists are, some of your favorite characters, and why. Because if there's someone who I don't know or whatever, then I'd like to know. What I want to do is I definitely want to show off some of my comics tonight, just because again it brings me joy. And we'll do that, and then we'll get into the Christmas stuff after that. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to bring out some of the comics that I didn't really have time to go through and figure out what I wanted to show off. So I'm just showing off what was within arm's reach. Okay. But this one, a very good friend of mine named Jams Fortress helped me get this one, and it is absolutely killer. So here we have Batman, and this is special because one of my new favorite artists that I got to see, his name is John Jing, and this is his Batman, and it's got the signature. See it right there? It's so funny because it's just a pen mark, but I'm like, that's so cool that I got his signature on there. But one of the cool things is DC doesn't do a lot of virgin covers. That's more Marvel in the indies, but DC very rarely will put out a virgin cover, and so they did this Batman. They have several variations of it, and I'm not a big Batman fan, but I do love art, and Zhang is one of those guys whose art is so hard not to like for me. And it was funny because I was talking with Jam's Fortress, and I was like, dude, I think I finally figured this out. I love Zhang's work, but when he does indie work, it's like mountains better to me. Like I cannot stop looking at his indie work, right? So like there's one book I was looking at today, Alice Ever After, right? It's a sequel story. And his picture of Alice in Wonderland and Cheshire the cat behind her or as her headdress or something weird, it's just marvelous. He does his best work in the indie sector versus Marvel and DC. But I still love this book. I like that it has a signature. Thanks, Jam's Fortress, for getting this for me. You guys, I'm going to be mentioning some folks' names tonight. If you need people to buy books from, Jam's Fortress is one of those guys. So like he's on Whatnot. Some of these guys are on Whatnot. There's only going to be one guy I think I mentioned tonight who isn't. Oh no, he's on Whatnot, but I usually see him on Facebook. Anyway, if you go to Whatnot, which is this really cool app where imagine if eBay was married to the Home Shopping Network and they had a baby, that baby would be Whatnot. Okay. So it's live sales. So imagine this if I was doing comic book sales and I was like, here, anyone who wants this, and then you hit the button bid, you buy it on there, and then it goes through, right? Um, that's what Whatnot is. But Jam's Fortress is one of the best DC sellers on Whatnot, in my opinion. That guy, he's worked with me so much to make sure I get the books that I love. He got me one of my, I should have brought it, but it's a plastic one right there. That is my Batman 423 homage. That is the gold one. And maybe I'll post a picture of it later, guys. But that was the first, that was the first big book that I bought from Jam's Fortress. And it was a dream of mine. It was a personal grail of mine to have. And I feel like he and I would visit his stream and we got to hanging out on there a lot. I don't get to talk with him voice, typing everything out, but he was willing to work with me on this. And so he let me pay that book off, and it was not a cheap book, right? But when I got that, and every time he'd stream, I'd be like, Jams, show me my book, please. And he'd show, and I'd be like, oh, yes. Right. Because it's the you can't see it right now, but the comic is drawn. The cover is drawn by Todd McFarlane, one of my favorite artists of all time, too. He created Spawn. And the original book is very expensive, but I had wanted this gold one for a long time. And I finally got it from him. And I was over the moon. It's a 9.8 gold. It's encapsulated. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Right. And so if you need someone to buy comics from on Whatnot, look for Jam's Fortress, okay? Jam's Fortress Comics. He also has Instagram and YouTube. And on Friday, he is doing a PS5 giveaway. So if you go onto his stream on Whatnot on Friday, and Jams, tell me what time you're going live again. I'm sorry, on the comments. If you could put that in Central Time, great. He is going to go live on Friday. And if you buy any comic, any product that he has on his show that day, at the end, he's going to do what they call a buyer's giveaway, which is it's like a drawing, a contest, right? So long as you buy a product, you can sign up to be in this giveaway, and it's a randomized, picks a random person from who's bought product throughout the day, and that person's going to win a PS5. He's also giving out some other prizes, some big ticket prizes, non-comic book related, although I was like, I really wouldn't mind owning another PS5 for the basement, but I might be like, Jams, why don't you keep the PS5 and give me 450 in credit, or 500, whatever it is, and I'll buy some more comics from you instead. We'll see. But anyway, you should definitely head there, Whatnot, Friday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then like I said, you buy anything, you'll be in the chance to win a PS5 from his show. So you'll see a lot of Whatnot shows that do that, okay? But again, this is where I got this. And then I'm so sorry, there's so many comments over here. Livy, I'm gonna pause real quick just to go catch up on the comments real quick. Tez is here. Good, thanks. Okay, so yeah, I asked for your artists and whatnot. Jams, you're saying John Zhang. He also likes John Boy Mayers. Tez says, I love Jim Lee. The Before Watchmen covers he did are fantastic. Agreed. A lot of people know Watchmen because it's a movie and TV show on HBO. It was a comic first. Gabe Jang is my top 10 artist. So, Gabe, you were the one, I think, you were the first one who introduced me to Zhang. And after that, it was like, I don't remember how you introduced me to him, but you did. And I remember seeing a book you shared with me, and I was like, I need to find more of that book. And so he was also one of the first artists I bought from Whatnot. And just, again, man, his art is beautiful. Yes, I knew what you meant, bud. Let's see. Ted says, yes, Jams is awesome. He sure is. Thanks. Jim says, what Spawn is this? What Spawn? What Spawn? Help me understand what that question is related to, Jim. I'm sorry. I got too excited and don't remember everything we were talking about, okay? Let's see. Jams Fortress, PS5, statue, and PS Backbone. Sweet. I might, yeah. So he's giving away he's telling us he's giving away a PS5, a statue, which if it's the statue you showed on your Instagram, Jams, it's a Joker statue in the what's his name? Heath Ledger. It's a Heath Ledger Joker bust statue. He'll be giving that away, and then a PS Backbone. Yeah, so you can find Jams Fortress Comics on YouTube, but Instagram is where he does a lot of his communication and shares his shows going on live. And then obviously you can find him on Whatnot. Now his wife Mrs. Jam, she runs the show during the weekday. Jams usually runs it on the weekends, and then if he gets home in time from work because he has to travel a lot, he'll help and he'll run on the weekdays. But look, let's make no doubt about it. Jams Fortress Comics on Whatnot does not run without Mrs. Jams being there first. Okay, she took a vacation one weekend, and I was like, oh heck. And sure enough, he had problems galore. He likes to say it was Whatnot having issues, but we all know the real reason. We all know. Jordan, dude, oh my gosh. Jordan, I freaking wish your book was in my hands right now so I could show it off to everyone. But I know I'm going to get there. I know that book is going to get in my hands one day, and I cannot wait to show off your artwork. Guys, Jordan Nor, I saw him on Facebook one day. He was a recommended channel. He was doing some Spawn art, and I was blown away by it. And I watch him as much as I can when he's doing his drawings. I watch his Instagram reels all the time because he speeds it up. But I love watching artists do their craft. And Jordan is one of these guys where I'm like, thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to see someone of his caliber draw on live, because it is amazing. Not only is his work so crispy and sharp, but he does Spawn covers heavily, which I love. But he also has this added effect where if you shine a black light on much of his work, it glows under a black light. It's freaking awesome. And some of his Spawn, man, it's amazing. I was watching him tonight before I came live. He's doing this Angela on a Spawn comic, and I've already told him, I'm like, dude, my next commission in the new year is I want an Angela in the pose of Amazing Spider-Man issue 300, which many of you know what that is because it's one of the world's most popular covers. But I want Angela in the ASM 300 pose. In her backhand, I want her lance back there in her left hand. And then in her right hand, I want maybe either the Spawn medallions that are synonymous with her taking down Spawns, Hell Spawns. And then the ribbons will be the ribbons around her. And this is Image Angela, not Marvel Angela. The ribbons acting as the web and then being all over. So through that around, we'll see. He's also going to be doing an original piece that's his inspiration from Marvel's Angela, because he thinks there's some ways that Angela could do better. And I'm going to wait for that to come out first and then make my decision. But I want all the Spawn universe in the ASM 300 pose, like Medieval Spawn, Violator, Malbolgia, even. That would be freaking cool. Gunslinger, She Spawn, Haunt, all these guys. Like, I'd love to have a series of ASM 300 poses from different Spawn characters, and Jordan's the one who does the work on all of them. So anyway, he's on Instagram. If you look for my Instagram, you will see many of the people I'm talking about tonight. Okay, so Jams is Babby Mr. CA. I don't know what that is yet. Hey, Jams. I think it's all the shorthand that I can't keep up with. No, it's a different statue. Joker DC. Okay. So the statue that he's giving away on Friday night is not the Heath Ledger statue. Gotcha. Okay. Let's see, Gabe. I sold the CGC 10 Jane signed Last Ronin for 18. I remember that. That's crazy. Guys, Gabe is a dear old friend of mine. And when I got back into comic collecting, I had no idea that he collected comics too. And so he helped fan the flame that would be my current collecting days. And he and we just always bouncing stuff off each other about comics. We're checking. I'm like, I can't find this comic cover. Can you help me out? And he'll be like, what do you think this is worth? And I'll do some research. I'm a business analyst / data analyst. And so I do a lot of number crunchings at work. So I love kind of figuring this kind of stuff out. I'll look at comics. I'll be like, well, I can't find that comic, but I found these comics. So there's our baseline. Here's what a signature of that person will add. Here's what the 9.9s, here's what the 9.8s look like. I'm determined by that we would add this amount, and that's what a 10 would cost or something like that. So, but Gabe and I, great brother there. Okay. Nice. Okay. Anna does that as well. Anna, I need to know Jordan, I actually quit the stream just to come watch. Oh man, dude. Thank you, Jordan. Okay. Feel it right here, bro. Okay. So thank you. Yeah, Yeah. Oh man, you are far too kind. Pff, I'm nothing compared to your talent, brother. It's is Babby Mr. CA? I don't know. Bone broth. Hey, I'm watching with Jordan too. Nice pineapple. Thank you. Thank you. So just so everyone's clear, my last name is Pina, right? My name is Jaime Pina. My online personality here is JPineapples. The pineapple is because my last name is Pina. Pina is Spanish for pineapple. Pineapple is a symbol for hospitality and friendship, which I feel like totally encompasses me. So you will see pineapples around my person and my home and everything else. So pineapples are a big deal in my life. I love my last name, and I love what it stands for. So okay, caught up on the comments. Let's get back. All right, and so I actually want to just give a couple shout outs to some other folks. While I do that, I'm going to show off this a couple other comics real quick though. So this is the ASM 300 pose. And this is the pose that, for those of you who don't know, this is the pose that I'm wanting all the different characters in Spawn to look like. And so this is essentially what I've asked at this moment, what I've asked Jordan, sorry, Jordan to draw the Angela version in. This is what I kind of look like, but I essentially would love all the Spawn universe characters. Redeemer, wouldn't it be cool to see Redeemer in that pose too, right? And Violator in this pose, and just have a line of comics that Jordan has done where they're all like this, right? And maybe the background has something that's specific to that individual, right? Like in the issues past the original 300, we would see something in there, right? Like even in the 300, there was 300 all in the background, but maybe like, I don't know, we'll talk about it. But I still want to see Jordan's original work before I decide firmly on the ASM 300 pose for Angela, at least. Okay. So, but yeah, that's cool. That's cool. This one is what? Oh, this is Mike Mayhew. I didn't even know that. And then I'm gonna show this other book real quick too. Um, this is called I Make Boys Cry. I don't even know who it is or what it is, but I love that it was a venomized version of whoever she is. And I love that it's clean. It's another, no, it's not quite a virgin cover. But I love that it's a clean book. She comes in different colors, and meaning there's a Carnage version of this. I believe there's a Black Cat version of this one too. Um, but I thought it was cool. I won it, and I don't remember who I won it from. KRS Comics, maybe. Anyway, I got that. I'm gonna show it off. All right, so let me tell you about some of the other sellers on Whatnot who are here tonight, right? So there is what does Jordan say? He says, well, I figured you watch me all the time. Time to pay it forward. Love getting to chat with you. Dude, that is so nice of you. Thank you. That's awesome. Yes. Pineapples. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Oh. So, all right. I was talking about Jam's Fortress earlier, right? So let me put someone else up on the pedestal for a minute. Let me find his name in here, an old comment. Here we go. All right, Jim from Leap's Lair. So Leap's Lair was someone that Jams introduced me to. Okay, Jams introduced me to Leap's Lair, and Leap's Lair he does a great show. Also, it's so funny because Jim, when you first started your streams went from you showcased a whole bunch of comics on the wall, and then you just had your cart or your shopping store filled with hundreds of books. It would take me like 30 minutes just to get through all the books. And I would get through them all and I would screenshot because I'm like, I'm gonna get that one later. I'm gonna get that one later. Or if I was gonna get them tonight, I'd screenshot them all. And then I'd be like, okay, here's the book I need. I need this book. I need this book. Go through the whole thing. And but now if you go to his stream, he is so lively and so active. It's like a flower that blossomed, and now he's alive, and he's always having so much fun. I enjoy just going on there and just listening and chatting and having fun. He's got a new co-host that was added recently. Her name is Medusa. That's not her real name. I don't know her real Candace. Candace is her real name. They are fun, fun, fun together. And but where Jams is in the DC world heavily, he's not only DC, but he deals heavily with DC, and his books are very clean. Leaps deals in exclusives. And correct me if I'm wrong on that, Leaps, but it's predominantly exclusives that he does, and his are always freaking top notch exclusives, right? His are. Let me see if I have anything that. I mean, I have plenty from him, but let me see if I have anything within arm's reach. But Leaps, he is just so fun, man. His product is always so crisp and clean. I learned very recently. He did a video on Instagram where where he see him with gloves on. That's a thing, with gloves on, taking comics out and wiping them with the microfiber cloth, and it was just like, oh, it was like that. Like the germaphobe in me was so appreciative of him doing that. A lot of times you'll see sellers who will take books, they'll take comic books out of their bags and boards, and I'm like, stop, stop, stop. I start getting heart palpitations. I'm like, oh my God, why are they touching it? I don't need them to touch it. Leave it in the bag. I don't want your oil or your hand or your fingerprints on the book. I'm like, nah, I don't even want a book anymore. So I'll either leave the stream or I'll just tell them, give me another book, please. Something like that, right? So yeah, it's I lose control. I don't know if you guys are like that when you're watching your streams and looking at your comic books and stuff like that. I am completely like that. So yeah, yeah. Let me see. Anyway. Oh, I'm not gonna have anything on my leaps from in this book. I'm not, or in this package. I mean this long box. I was hoping I could find one of my sorry. Oh, actually I got no, no, sorry. Um, great. Of course, I would pick the book that doesn't have any of Leap's stuff in here. Great. Well, anyway, I will pick on this book then. I end up buying a lot of Department of Truth books from Leaps. I think maybe I might have gotten this one from him, but I love Department of Truth. I love the art on it and was going to collect it anyway. I went to a bookstore once and I saw a trade paperback of it. I opened it up and I read like I just picked the not first, but like last 2 pages of the first part of the first book. And I was like, holy crap, I need to collect this and eventually read them all because the story is phenomenal. It's about, if you guys didn't know, Department of Truth. So imagine a world where if you believed in something, it became true, right? Now, it's not just you. You have to actually have multiple people, large groups of people believe this thing. If enough people believe in this, whatever it is, whatever, if enough people believe in it, it turns into reality. And so in one of those first those 2 pages that I read, there's an airplane of people that are starting to believe for whatever reasons that the earth is flat. Well, in this world, when things like that start happening, it's like a retroactive thing. It's like history starts rewriting itself so that the world was always flat. And so it starts screwing up with things, physics and all this other stuff. But slowly and eventually, every truth becomes reality, every perceived truth. So what ends up happening is these men find the plane, they force it to land. And when they land, the people get on board the plane and they shoot and kill every single person on the plane. Children, women, men, young, old, they just kill them all. No questions asked. And there's one guy who survives though and again, I didn't read all the details, but they take him back. And the guy who's interviewing him about everything that happened is Lee Harvey Oswald. And you find out the Department of Truth is responsible for making sure that the world stays in its proper form. And they go and they try to correct anywhere that this lady right here is trying to mess up. And this is not a lady. She's actually wearing a mask. But when she takes her glasses off and comes out of her skin, she's this evil, demonic spawn of hell kind of thing. So, but it's an awesome cover. I actually met this artist on Facebook recently. And I was talking to him about doing a remark and getting it signed and figuring out how to get it to CGC. But great story. I can't wait to really start delving into it and reading it. But anyway, if you need another person to buy from, Leap's Lair is the guy that I love to go watch. And I love buying books from him. You can find He's got great books, great product that they're not your regular books, right? You're gonna probably pay a pretty nice penny for the books that he has generally in there, but that's because they're all exclusives of some kind. And they're all so pristine. But excuse me. Um, but you get a great show with him. He really cares for his product. I mean, Jams and Leaps care for their product that they send us, and I've never been disappointed with anything that they've sent me. And I return to their shows constantly to buy from them because I want to support them because they help support my when I'm fiending for some comics, they help support me. So definitely go watch those two guys. He is an amazing man. He is a father. He's doing this to help support his kids through college and all this other stuff. And he's just a great guy, man. He's a great guy, and he's always working with me. Both these guys have helped. We do with building boxes. So they'll bundle a box for me sometimes, and I'll pick it up on payday or something. They've always worked well with me, and I'm not saying they're going to do that with everyone, but traditionally they will work with people who return and who fulfill their stuff. But if you're going to go to them, please don't use my name and be like, you can't give it to me cheaper or give me a better deal or do some crazy stuff like that. Just go have a good time and know that when you buy from them, you're supporting people, the whole small business mindset. That's what you're doing. So I make enough I make sure that I carve out enough to support my local business, my local comic shop, but that I'm also supporting the people who on Whatnot who I trust. That's the name of the game, is trust. I've bought from people before that have failed on so many different levels. I stick with the people that I trust, and I love to give them my business. So Jams and Leaps are definitely two of those people who I heavily visit. Okay. Let's catch up with some of these comments real quick. All right. Gabe says Leaps. I guess he knows him. I hope you do. Leaps is a great seller. I'm glad you buy from him, Gabe. That makes me so happy. If I could tell every comic buyer to go to Leaps and Jams, I'd be like, please do. Please go. Please buy from him. If you mention my name, you can use my employee discount. It usually adds like $1 million on top of whatever the thing is. I haven't figured out why my employee discount does that for them, but it does. So maybe don't use it. Okay. Jam says, I do it to bug you. Jams does bug me a lot, actually, guys. He's such a meanie. Gab, I'm the same way. A lol. Yes. I think you're talking about what I was talking about, the whole patroning the places that you trust, right? Because that's what it's about. Gabe says, it became too hard to keep up with all the variants for me. And I was going to get there, Gabe. I was totally going to get there. So one of the downsides to comic collecting, and Gabe and I occasionally will have invisible chats where we're like, we mention it, and then like I can tell, I'm like, he and I are like, we're thinking about it at the same time. We're just like, freaking variants. And what that is, so for those of you who don't know, for example, I was showing off this comic, right? This is a variant of Amazing Spider-Man issue 300, okay, which came out over 2 decades ago. And it's still to this day being used to create new covers. It's one of the most popular covers, but it's also one of the ones that you're like, everybody does this. Everybody does this cover. And it's not just Spider-Man, right? So I know this one's hard because this one shows Spider-Man on it, but you will see people who are not Spider-Man and from other comic book, what am I trying to say? Publishers. You'll see other characters who do that also, and it just gets used. So what ends up happening though is that the market gets saturated with all these comic covers of the same, and it is like, is there anything different that's going to be done? And it costs so much, and it's like, I can only afford so much in my comic inventory a month, and I can't afford to keep buying. Oh, look at this. This is a facsimile of the original issue. So this is the original issue of Amazing Spider-Man 300. This is the one that started them all. This is the one that they all try to copy and be like, and for good reason. It's a great cover. It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's just done again and again, right? I thought I had another cover that I was going to show off, Amazing Spider-Man, which was, I can't remember right now, actually. But anyway, Just know that that's what that is. Yeah, I thought it was right here, but it's not. Um, so anyway, freaking the no gloves. Yes. Yeah, he likes to mess with me on that, and I get it. So honestly, guys, a lot of the sellers, they'll have readers that they use for display, and I know that's what Jams does, but it's one of those unspoken things. It still irks me. I can know that, and it still irks me. It's just one of those things. Okay. All right. So let me show off a couple more comic books, right? Because that's always fun. All right. This is a more recent book I got. Something is Killing the Children. And this book is a hot book, right? So in this world, there's monsters and there's slayers. Basically, think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, except it's not just one person, but it's adventurers. I guess you can kind of look at, and they slay monsters. And so Something is Killing the Children was one of those indie books that came out of nowhere, and people loved it, and it is so popular. They spawned a second series called Book of Slaughter. Yes, Book of Slaughter or House of Slaughter. Gosh, I can't remember which one. But there's a third series that's going to be dropping in January or February that's called Book of Butcher. And so it's the third series in the universe, in the Something is Killing the Children universe, that we're going to see more stories from that world, from the family and the friends of Jessica right here. Her name's Jessica. What's her last name? I already forgot. Um, Jessica Slaughter. And so we'll get to see more of her family and friends. Book of Slaughter or House of Slaughter, that is her family. And then Book of Butcher is her friend. So, but this is a cool cover. I like it. There's a lot of those indie covers that I just dig. The indie comics, they usually can get away with a lot more that Marvel and DC can't get away with, right? No one, especially Marvel, because they are such big powerhouses in the mainstream. They can't do a lot of things that DC can get away with, and especially indies. Okay, so just FYI. All right, here's another new one that was pretty new, and I thought I had ordered this slab, but I didn't. But this was an exclusive that came from Jam's Fortress, right? And our buddy, is Adrian on here? He's not in here. Erica Slaughter, thanks, Jordan. I appreciate that. This was an exclusive Mexican cover of the Amazing Spider-Man. Which issue is this one again? 600? I think it's 600. Correct me, okay? But anyway, it's a foil cover, and you can't really tell from the camera, but the pillow right there is foil. The Spider-Man's foil right there. The magazine is foil. Spider-Man back there, the red part is foil. I kind of just jumped on the bandwagon with this. Not a really favorite cover of mine or anything, but it was okay. Everyone else was getting it, so I was like, why not? I realized though that there were some other Mexican foil ones that I do love, right? So there's a Spawn one that came out recently, issue 227, I think. Jams has that one of mine because it's getting off to be graded. Amazing Spider-Man issue. Oh, Jams, what was it? Why am I forgetting this one? Issue 13, which was Todd McFarlane. It's a reprint of Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man #1, Torment, but with the black suit on. It looks sick, and it's foil. It looks so gnarly. I can't wait to get that one slabbed and put back in my collection over here too. So that one looks sick. Now, I do want to show off a very cool. So I remember earlier I was talking about the different types of comic books that came out while I was away, right? So not only did I see that people were sending their comic books off to CGC or CBCS to get graded and sent back to them, definitely weird. But I found out there was this new kind of comic book that was not around when I left the comic book scene, right? And I want to show this is from the company called The Comic Book Dealer. But my very good friend Gabriel, he hooked me up with this. When I say hooked up, I paid for it, but he had an extra one. He was like, "You want it?" So I was like, "Yes." Now, one of those books that started coming out that I didn't know they didn't exist when I started collecting the first time, but now that the second time came around, and it just so happened this comic book is absolutely amazing. All right. So here is the virgin cover, right? This is We Live Volume 2, Issue 3. This is number 71 of the collection. That's the Virgin cover. Okay. It's from a studio that is now closed. Rest in peace, Aftershock. You didn't deserve that. And then this. You can't tell. It's a little bit shiny, but let me see if you can hear it. Can y'all hear that? So these are metal books. They freaking make comic books with metal freaking covers on there. How awesome is that? Huh? Huh? Metal freaking covers on comics. Who knew? Right? And so they make comic books that are metal. And when I first heard this, I was like, what? I need to, what? Metal? And Gabe was like, yeah. And it was so funny because so he introduced me to metal comic books. And then I hardcore wanted a metal comic book, but the ones that I'd been seeing were a little pricey at the time. And I was like, I don't know. So there was a Whatnot seller that I used to frequent often. Real fun guy. I won my first medal. This back in the day when Whatnot would allow duck races, right? I won my first metal comic from him, and it was the red cover of Final Boss and the Tyler Kirkham homage, right? So where Final Boss is on this side, and then it's just a blank red on this side, right? But it was cool, and so I won that one, and then I started looking for more, and I have more these days. But this collection right here, this from the comic book dealer guy that Gabe hooked me up with, there was something crazy cool about this one, right? It came with this really cool metal, MEDAL. It's pretty thick and heavy. It's pretty durable. And then it also comes with a metal plate We Live card. Look at that. This is legit cool, guys. This, and then it comes in that case that you saw. This is legit. Jams, when you do your first exclusive book, if you ever do an exclusive book, I think this is one of those things you're going to want to do, man. You should have a freaking nice little cardboard box that comes with your comic in there. How cool would that be, right? If you did a limited run like this, like Gabe said, this is 20 books. This collection is only 20 of them. But look at that. It comes in its freaking own little cardboard box, and it's like one of those attaches, right? That would be sick, man. So just think about that, okay? Gabe, thanks for that, brother. Oh, Gabe, will you do me a favor right now and go into Messenger? I need your shipping address. I asked you twice already for it. You haven't gotten to me. Please send me your shipping address as soon as you can, okay? All right. And then Leaps. There's a book that I just got from you this yesterday or the day before. I hope you haven't sent it out yet because I need that to actually go somewhere, okay? But I'll message you on Instagram for that one, Jim, if you're still watching. All right. So those were a couple of those books over there. Are you tired yet, or can I go on? Do I need to take a break, or can I go ahead and show off some of the other books that I have over here? Some of my favorites. Let me know. Yes. So he said Erica Slaughter. John says nice. James says spot foil. Spot foil. What does that mean? Spot foil. I like the end of the second arc from Something Is Killing the Children. I can't wait to see what they do for the next arc. I do not read my comics, guys. With the exception of the trade paperback of We Live that Gabe got me, and the trade paperback of some Department of Truth. Those are two that I actually have off to the side that when I'm ready to start reading, those are the first ones that are coming in here. Okay. Yeah, there's only 20 made of that box. Okay, Mr. CA, yes. And so for those of you who are here who didn't get to hear earlier, John calls me Mr. CA. He helped inspire the name of what my comic shop on Whatnot will be, and it'll be Comics Anonymous. Jam says, cool. Gabe says, gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. Jam says, ASM is spot foil. What is spot foil? I don't know what that means. Sorry. That box looks cool. Yes, Tez. I will actually get pictures of this tonight and post it on my Instagram. I actually get pictures of all the books that I'm showing off tonight and post on my Instagram tonight, so you guys can just see closer what they are. And if I can remember each book what it is, I will post it in the comment and in the post, so that way if you're interested in it, you can go. I will also link up Jam's Fortress Comics and Leap's Lair in that same post, so you can see where to find them on Instagram and on whatnot. um, and when you go to them, mention that I introduced you to them. Maybe they'll help you out. Maybe they'll be like, "Oh, we'll give you the employee discount too," and then we can all be special together. Okay. All right. All right. So, do y'all want to see slabs or some really cool books that I love? Tell me, slabs or some foil books. Let me know. Okay. Um, while we're doing that, let me talk a little bit real quick on. Oh, here we go. Jordan says spot foil is where there's only fill on specific areas of the print to create a matte versus glossy texture. I use that on all the vinyl records I design. Thank you. I appreciate that. I did not know that. That makes sense now. I totally understand that. Okay. Let's see. Show us some more. Okay, okay. So I will show you more comics. I'm gonna show you a few slabs. Now I don't know if these are gonna come out right because the plastic and the webcams let in more light, and so because of that, it makes the plastic look shiny. I always tell everyone this. So just now that I got some of the whatnot sellers here, let me tell you, when you have bright lights in the room and that shine on your comics comes through on the webcam, it's because webcams, and I'm in the tech area, I'm in the tech industry. Webcams are built to allow more light in than the human eye. And so when it's darker in the room, we may not see it well in the room, but your viewers who are watching can see it almost perfectly because it lets in the right amount of light to illuminate that item. So while it may look dark in the room and you're like, yeah, this isn't working out, I'm gonna turn the lights back on. You're making it hard for all of us to look at the books because we're like, oh great, now the spotlight's just back on. Don't believe me? Try it out on your stream next time and check it out and see how it works. All right, anyway, I'll go through some of these slabs, okay? Gabe says, I'm a sucker for slabs. Let me see them. Okay. All right. In no particular order, I'm just going to show them off. These are just recent. So here I have Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes issue 23. And this is Whatnot Special Edition foil. This is the David Nakayama cover, but I'm a sucker for super. Anything Supergirl, Superman, freaking Super Dog. I just want it. So this is that grading I was talking about. It's a 9.8. The best grade you can get is a 10. You don't get those very often, but they are out there. 9.8 seems to be what a lot of people would prefer to have. I don't say prefer. This is what they would like to minimally have. We'll put it that way. But I like this one. This is a nice foil. This is one of those. There's some comics that when you see them, they look better in person than they do like on pictures or anything else. And this is one of those books. Absolutely love the Super Family. So that's that's a favorite of mine. As soon as I saw that book, I knew I was going to need that one in a slab. This one now, this is going to be a preview of what I'm going to show in a minute. But these books I have to just collect because I've had a talk with one of my friends, and we go back and forth. They're like, it's not really art. It's kind of like the variants. They're just reusing the same one. Um, I'm a sucker for it though, and especially the white with the gold one. This was one I was the original cover and this cover are the two that I wanted so badly. And I was able to get this one because I worked out a deal with, I don't know how to say his name, but on Whatnot, it's Ald XX or Ald XXX. Contrary to his name, it is not a nudie show kind of thing. He just has some great product, but he's always giving me great deals on these Superman Shield books. And there's multiple of these, and I'll show you them later. Actually, Jams, I'm going to eventually need to send all of them to you so that they can all be slabbed. But I am a sucker for that. This one is Superman Lost issue 1. This book was like running $100 on eBay, maybe a little bit more actually. And I was like, I want it, and I'll pay that price, but I just don't want to pay that price right now. I came across Ald XX show one night. I think maybe Leaps, you introduced me to him. I'm not sure. Someone did. Maybe Young Echoes. And um, I was able to get, and Jams has it, but I have the Batman movie poster cover. I got that. I got a Blue Lightning Superman and this one, and it was all like under $100. He was like, "I'll give you these two for 30 piece, and then that one I'll give you for I don't remember what it was, 15 or whatever." And I was like, "I'll buy them right now if you do that." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Heck yeah." But look at this. This is freaking awesome, man. I love the white cover and the gold shield. If you don't know, Superman in this series, he's running around the cosmos with a white suit on because it retains the yellow sun's energy in it, and so that's what he needs to survive in the vastness of space. And this cover is just beautiful. I think it's beautiful, right? And that's one of the debates with having the plastic is if you get a slab, are you getting a slab because you want to resell it and increase the value or because you want to protect it in your collection while it also increases value? Nothing wrong with that, right? There might be some other arguments to be made out there. You guys can post them in the comments and let everyone know if you have a different opinion of those out of those two. When I get these books, I'm going to have to encapsulate them just because I want to keep them safe and guarded, and I want them to stay in my collection forever. I'm a huge Superman geek. Same with Spawn, Michael Turner. So those are books like that. Spawn, Superman, Michael Turner books. Those will probably never leave my collection because I absolutely want to keep them for the entirety of my life. And then when the kids get them, they can do whatever they want with them after that. But anyway, I love this slab. I cannot wait till I can put my slabs up on the walls. I'm going to imitate you, Jams. Although it won't be as cool as yours, it'll still be something that if I can see them on the walls, it'll just help me. This will be my room of Zen. This will be my fortress of solitude. Okay. I'll come in this fortress, and this will be where I can be like, yes, I am being recharged. These will be my yellow sunlight. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, this one is Deceased issue 3, and this was a Jay Anceletto cover. And man, I am a stickler for the Batgirl covers. I think she looks cool. I love that. I think one of the main things that I love about Batgirl covers is the yellow inside the cape and on the bat signal. I think the yellow on the everything, all the yellow, it just looks so cool on Batgirl, I think. And but man, look at that. I like it. So again, you slab sometimes a comic because you want to increase the value in case you ever want to sell it. Some people want to slab because they just want to protect the book that they have. I'm one of those guys. It's not so much like I've never read the story. I know what it's about, but I just love this cover. And I have some more in the back. Maybe if I do another show, I'll show off some of my other slabs. But I absolutely love this cover. I think it's gnarly as heck. Yeah. Totally cool, right? Totally cool. Let me see some of these comments. I'll keep going though here. Shows both. LOL. I will. Gabe says the 1 in 10 of 1% of all CGC graded books get a 10. Oh, I didn't know that. So that's the ratio, huh? Okay. Jams, how many 10s have you gotten? You send quite a lot of books off to CGC. How many would you say you've had that have been graded at a 10? I'm curious. Chan says, nice. Thank you, Chan. Tez says Superman is king. Tez, I'm with you, man. I know a lot of people give him hate because they're like he's the Boy Scout and he's poorly written. I'm like, I'm okay with it though. I'm okay with my Superman being a Boy Scout and being the man, and I just love the shield, bruh. I love his everything. When I think about the movies, I started off hating Henry or not liking Henry Cavill as Superman. I grew to really like him, especially after I got to know him or learn about him more, not him as Superman, but Henry Cavill is a huge geek. Like he personally just loved Superman before he got the role. He played the Witcher game. He threw so many hours into it. So then when he played as the Witcher, which I still haven't seen that show, he loved it. He used to talk about how he had the figurines for Warhammer and he loved playing Warhammer. Now he's going to be freaking Warhammer. So I have a lot of respect now for Henry than I did before. But for me, the king of Superman movies will always be Dean Cain. Like no one can be. I'm just playing. It's not Dean Cain. I just playing. No, it is. It's not Dean Cain. Okay. It is Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve. Let's get that right. Okay. I've been seeing some posts go around. People are like, Christopher Reeves is the best Superman. I'm like, then spell his name properly. It's Christopher Reeve. Also, just in case you didn't know, the black and white Superman back in the day, oh gosh, I'm so bad with names, guys. But his last name was Reeve also, but they had no relation to each other. Okay. But Christopher Reeve will always be my Superman on the TV screen forevermore. But I don't knock anybody for having a different one than mine. I'm okay with that, right? Um, Jams, yep, Superman is king. Which, by the way, if you haven't noticed, Jams has a new logo that he got very. That one's not it right there, but he has one that he's posted up on his whatnot. Jams, you need to change your one on YouTube and everywhere else your social media is. But look at his logo; it looks legit. Okay, Tez, I'm all for the Kryptonians. Me too. Like I said, Superman, Supergirl, even Superboy, and Power Girl. Like I'm all for that, right? Jordan says that's what my studio room is like. All the walls are covered in McFarlane toy. Oh, Jordan, make sure you do like a walkthrough or whatever. Show us and post the video up on Instagram or send it to me at least. I'd love to see it. Jordan, if you haven't had a chance, if you are on whatnot, or no, everyone, go to YouTube. And YouTube, search for Jams Fortress Comics. And he does a lot of shorts that are on unboxing or after he sets up his statues. And some of them you can see in the background all the statues that. So Jams, he has comics on the walls, but he also has a collection of statues. I feel like Miss Jams is listening right now. Miss Jams, you're the best. I just wanted to make sure you heard me say that in case you didn't earlier. Okay. I don't know why God is like, hey, make sure to give her props right now because she's amazing. She's fun and awesome. So anyway, go check out Jams Fortress Comics on YouTube. And Jams, if you want to paste it in the comments so that everyone can see or we're going to go search or anything, do that. Okay. Let me grab some water real quick, guys. See, I love this because I have been able to nonstop talk because I love comics so much. I can do this. If you wanted me to come on tomorrow night, I can come on tomorrow night and talk about comics for another 2 hours. Anyway, but where were we? Oh yeah. So go check out Jams Fortress. But Jordan, please post a video up so we can see, bro. Because when I was younger, that's what I had on my walls was Spawn toys everywhere. And stupid young man decision, lost all my comics and all my toys, and it's a sour spot in my life. So if you ever really wanted to beat me down real bad without that joke factor, that's what you would do. You would dog on me on my past choices with my original collection. That would just tear me down. So I gave you all free ammunition. Please don't ever use it on me, okay? I'm a game room. No, this is my comic room, bro. Okay, John. Jams Fortress says 1. Ya se me olvidó. What were we talking about? 1. Oh, you've had 110 come back to you. Okay, all right. Jaime CA room, yes. But you've had 5 9.9s. Wow. Okay. I currently have 2 CGC 10 slabs. Now, I've seen Gabe's one of his 10 slabs, maybe both of them, and maybe it was the one that you sold, but I have seen your Last Ronin 10 slab. Actually, you do have 2 of them that I remember. I don't know if you still do. Yes, he says both of them are signed and remarked. Yes. I have a few 9.9s. Man, Gabe has a freaking Gabe, I wish you would post up your collection. Do you have a Fortress of Solitude, Gabe? We never talked about that. Do you have a room where your comics are on the walls and all that stuff? Do you just do comics? Actually, this is for everyone. Tell me in the comments, are you comics only? Are you comics and statues? Are you statues only? Are you figurines? Are you toys? Kind of what does your collection take you to? Like for me, I am straight up comics. I have like one statue that's out there. It's a giveaway I won from Comics Elite or Unknown Comics, one of those two. It's a Psylocke statue. I don't open it because I plan to either sell it or give it away as a giveaway also to one day when I start my whatnot up. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments what kind of collection do you have, and then if your comics, is it Marvel, DC, Indie, what predominantly, and then if you're also into the figurines, same thing. Are you Marvel, Indie, DC, anime, or something else? I'm just curious because maybe I want to reach out to some of you. Jam says, I have a 1 of 5 in the world TMNT key issue of Jenica colored and signed CGC 9 point. Dude, you gotta send us a pic of that or post it up in your Instagram tonight. I expect everyone after tonight or while we're talking to go to your Instagrams and upload pictures of your comics so I can go take a look at them and hit the little heart button and say freaking awesome and take screenshots so I can add them to be like, I'm gonna need to get this one day. Okay. Jordan says, I've been wanting to do that for a while, just haven't actually done it. Jordan, there's no time like tonight. Okay. No time like tonight. Mrs. Jordan, if you will help him out so we can see that, that'd be awesome. Okay. I promise if you send it to just me, I won't share it with anyone else, but I would love to see it. Okay. Jams, I'm actually unboxing my new. Jams has some freaking he has the, how big is it, Jams? I want to say it's like a 5-foot statue of Cyborg Superman. That is his pièce de resistance in his fortress. And when you go onto a stream, ask him to not just show you around the room, but ask him to turn on the Fortress of Solitude. He can never stop showing it off enough. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind just seeing it every day either because it's just it's phenomenal. It's fun. Okay. Jordan says, I've got a 9.9 Ronin remarked and 4 times signed. Holy crap. Jeez, Jordan. Can't wait to see that bad boy. Gabe says, I need a bigger room to do that. Okay. So you only store your comics then right now, right? You can't put them up yet. Gotcha. Well, when you do, make sure I see the room. Jordan says, I do comics, figures, vinyl, statues, and toys. Nice. Mainly Spawn, horror, Venom, 80s stuff. Oh, that's awesome. Bone Broth says, Battlestar Galactica? I so rarely see anything BSG. Okay. All right. I think that there is a couple Battlestar Galacticas out there. I recently saw that I was like, okay, I think Alex Ross did one. It can't be Michael Turner, but no, that was Battle of the Planets. He did a Battle of the Planets. I was like, sick. All right, Jam says 1 in 3. Okay, so he has a 1/3 scale of Cyborg Superman. It is phenomenal. It is large and it's in charge in that room. Got to check it out. Bone Broth says, I don't know any other Cylons. And Jams, this Superman is a 1/6 scale. The new one that you got is 1/6 scale. So Jams usually posts those videos up on his Instagram. Instagram and YouTube. All right. Anyway, let's get back to the comics. Okay. All right. Now this one, I am so excited to share with you all. Okay. Let me tell you, this is a personal grail of mine. And Leaps, if you're still in there, thank you so much. He put this on his stream the other night, and oh my gosh, I was like, I've wanted this book for a couple of decades, and I bid on it, and I was willing to go up for this book, but I didn't have to. And every now and then you'll get a book where you're like, the grade doesn't matter as much, right? So they what do they say? They say that low grade is better than no book, right? And so it's not like that was the adage here, but I was like, I don't care what the grade level of this book was. Of course, I'd love it higher, but I don't care. And I want this book because it's so iconic for me, right? And I got it for like, I don't remember if it was like 20 or 40 bucks over there, but look at this. This is a Todd McFarlane pre-Spawn. You can see his little signature right there. Todd McFarlane. But this is freaking Hulk getting smashed in the gonads by Spidey. We don't know it in this issue yet, but this is Spidey getting his cosmic powers, getting the Captain Universe powers. But look at that. I love because when Todd did this, he made the interaction with the title so impactful up there. Look at that. It is so awesome, man. And it was at a 9.6. Now, I am totally happy with that. Like I said, if I could have gotten it higher, great. But this is an older book. I am super happy about getting it 9.6. I am no complaints at all. I'm glad that it was a slab. I freaking absolutely love this book. A grail of mine, right? A personal holy grail of a book of mine. I've wanted this cover for 2 decades now. Don't ask me why I don't have it or got it. It's, you know how you guys know how it is. There's books that you've wanted forever, right? But this is one when I was just like an absolute, like my life had paused for a moment. I was like, the only thing that would make this better is if I could get Todd McFarlane to sign this himself. Is that not a freaking crispy cover, guys? Is that not a great cover? Tell me this is fantastic, right? I'm not the only one who can appreciate this cover at all, am I? I'm not. I know I'm not. This is a freaking amazing book. Look at that. Spider-Man took on the Hulk. Oh, all right, Taz. Taz says he is about to pass out, and I saw. Thanks for coming out tonight, Taz. You have a great night. Okay, we'll catch up. We got it. We got to get on the same stream together at some point, man. I'm serious. I want to talk comics with someone else. But yes, Holy Grail. But yes, this man, so freaking happy about this book. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. All right, let me go through some of these other books. Now, they're all going to be the same thing, but look, I love it. Okay, so I'm a stickler for it. This electric blue foil Superman shield. Yeah, we're about to get on the Superman train for a little bit. Okay, love that. Here is Death of Superman anniversary foil cover. You can see the bloody shield. I tell you, these foils are so hard to show off, but all these I'm gonna eventually need to get lab though. I got this one, but I don't like it. I'm gonna get rid of this one soon because I thought I would like it, but it's not hitting right. I think I just like the movie poster version only. I'm okay with that. So I'll eventually get rid of this one sooner than later. Got an original. I need to put this in a bag and board. Got the original Superman, Death of Superman from 1993. Unopened. I got the 30th anniversary Death of Superman. This came out this year. Pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly. I've got the red foil Death of Superman. I've got Death of Bizarro Superman. If you didn't notice, that's because this S is backwards and it's purple. I won this in an auction and I was so happy. This one I need to get slabbed, but I need to get it pressed and cleaned out too. This is a Spawn issue 77, first cover appearance of Angel Wing Spawn. Or Redemption Spawn, sorry, Redemption Spawn. But they're kind of the same thing. It needs a press, and this needs to get locked into a plastic thing quick because I don't want anything to happen to this one either. This is probably like one of my top priority comics that I need to get slabbed. Here's some Neil Adams goodness. Sorry, I'm looking at this and I'm just like, man, this is just gorgeous. Look at this. You like this, Jams? Do you see that? You see that, bruh? Neil Adams cover. This is a cover that has gotten used quite a bit too. Not a lot, actually, not a too lot, but there's a cover that one of the earliest Superman comic books have this cover too. Do you see the chains, the kryptonite? There's a cover that released this year that's similar also. Neil Adams. We lost Neil Adams this year. Here's an homage to that Supergirl issue 1. And this is John Boy. I love that. Oh, here they were. I was looking for these earlier, right? So we're talking about the homage covers of ASM 300, right? So I have the original ASM 300 Mexican foil version. Then I've got this Nyx homage right here. This is the one, Jordan, if you're still watching, this is the one we're going to have to do a Ghost Rider on like this. I want a Ghost Rider in this style. His chains would be the webbing, right? Imagine his flaming head, and then the fire circle. Maybe he's jumping out of hell. That would be kind of gnarly. And then here's a Venom one. This one is, I forgot who did this one. I don't remember who did it. Watch it be a Clayton Crane. I'm about to lose my lunch. Freaking Clayton Crane. I have no problem saying, I can say because it's my show. I do not like Clayton Crane. Okay. Trash human being. Beautiful art. Jeez. Waste. Anyway, so those are there. Okay. Um what is he saying here? Jordan says, I've actually got some of the black Ghost Rider blanks so we can make it. Oh, bro. Yes. Yes. I'm glad you said that. Save one to the side for me because I'm definitely going to have you do one next year also. Maybe I'll have it done right after the Angela one. I want to do all the Spawn ones, but I want a Ghost Rider one, and we got to make it look gorgeous. And it's got to be volume or Danny Ketch Ghost Rider because that was the one that I started collecting with the black leather jacket, the chain. Yes. Okay. So I'm glad you have one then. So yes, save one to the side for me because I'm going to get you to do one of those for me this year. So anyway, those are some of the comic books. I have a ton of comics over here that I thought I was going to get to tonight. I didn't, but I appreciate that because it means I get to save for later. And these weren't like anything super special, but I wanted to talk about Battle Chasers, for example. Love Battle Chasers, but we can talk about that another day. I got some die cuts in there and some other stuff. But anyway, yeah. So I feel so good right now, guys. Let me just tell you that. Oh, I love talking comics. I love looking at comic books. I love showing off comics. I love when people who appreciate it can, maybe you don't like the same comics that I do, but to see you guys here, Jordan, you coming in and hanging out tonight just to be like spreading the love, sharing the love. And it's like, man, you got me. Jams, I know you're not feeling good, but to spend some of your time with me tonight. Miss Jams, if you're watching, I know that Miss Jams likes to watch, but she can never type because she's watching on her TV. That's always cool. But all you guys coming in tonight and watching it made me feel good. We didn't get to talk about a lot of the Christmas stuff, which is fine. That's no biggie. I'm not forced to have to talk about it, but I do want you to know next week, whether I'm by myself or Joe and Sandy come back and hang out with me, I want to talk about some Christmas stuff. Because here's the thing: is I love to cook, so we're going to be talking about Christmas food, Christmas gifts, what is on everybody's list. I'm really interested in all of you guys who are here tonight. I want to know what's on your. She said hi. Okay, great, awesome. I want to know what's on your Christmas list because I'm just super curious about what other people asked for on this Christmas list. I was able to hop on. I was hoping Rick would be here tonight, but Rick, he's another seller. I didn't get to talk about him, but I'll talk about him when he does come on. Rick, he has gotten me a lot of great books in the past too. But he does this Christmas gift exchange. So you go sign up and then you get paired with someone else. Then you wrote your 5, either comic book character, publisher, whatever the series, and you get matched up with someone else and they do their 5, and then you figure out from that book list. I think there's a $20 minimum on there, and then you ship them out to them as a Christmas exchange. So I was really happy about that. I like to bless others if I can. Gabe last year, he introduced me to a gift exchange, and that was a phenomenal one. I would love to show off those books. Actually, I've set them aside in a special box, and I should have brought those out. It's always afterwards you think, right, what you should have done and could have done. There were some awesome books he gave me. He gave me this awesome couple slabs in there that would just I need to show you, Jams. There's a slab that he gave me that was is so beautiful. Okay. Anyway, so I want to talk about some of the Christmas stuff because that brings me a lot of joy too. I want to talk about what we're eating. I ditched turkeys for Christmas, and I picked up rib roast, and this year we're actually going to be doing a pork, not roast. If you've ever heard of it, it's called iberico pork. It's a Spanish pig, and it is comparable to Wagyu A5 beef. Okay, and this pork, you can cook it medium rare and eat it safely. And I've never had a medium rare pork, but I am totally going to do this. The reviews on iberico pork on the internet are absolutely out of this world. Now, a lot of people, there's this leg that you can get. It's like prosciutto, and It hangs in this locker for like years, like 3 to 5 years before it makes its way to people's homes. It's amazing. Anyway, Iberico pork. That sounded totally not like me when I just said just no mames. Jams, I hear you secretly making fun of me right now, so stop it, okay? Miss Jams, don't let him make fun of me. I'm really interested in this pork, so I'll be taking lots of pictures and videos so that you guys can see it. I know the thought, and it's an American thing, right? Because pork is bad. We harp on that, but this pork is from a very, very special place in Spain, and these hogs are only in this area, and they eat walnuts or acorns. Anyway, the heat from your hand melts it. And that's why you can eat it medium rare, is because the stomach acids actually dissolve it too fast, if that makes sense, so that it does actually end up cooking. So, but everyone, I've seen so many reviews on it. Everyone says this pork is out of this world. It is worth every penny of it. So, yeah. I want to talk about gifts. I want to know what everyone's asking for Christmas. I want to know what y'all are asking for. If you do me a favor, go on to your Instagrams or your social media posts tonight or tomorrow and just put, here's what I would like to get for Christmas, and just put it on there. Let's I just want to see what stuff people ask for. I just, at least one or two things off your list. And yeah. And so I want to talk more. I want to see what the kids are going to get. I want to hear about it, but we will talk back next week. Let's see. The week before Christmas, I'm doing a giveaway for some sets of prints, which will include the officially licensed She Spawn prints I have left over from Jordan. Please, there should be no reason why I don't know when or where that's going to be, but please tag me. I will make sure to share with my friends and everyone else, Jordan, so that everyone can have a go at this, because that would be freaking sweet, man. And one day, look, for all of my comic buddies out there, I totally, absolutely, you are getting the official invite to be guests on my show, right? I want you all to come on one day, not at the same time, separately, so we can focus on you. I want Jams to come on because I want you to talk about comic books. I want you to talk about, you all are entrepreneurs in your own right, and doing stuff that the world loves, people love, I love. Okay. And so I want Jams to get, I want Leaps to come on. I want 10 Forward to come on. I want Jordan, you to come on, and I want to be able to highlight you guys and give you a little spotlight here. It's not a big show here, right? It's not a big thing, but we got enough people to watch that I want to share your talents and your drives with others, right? So let's make sure that we make that happen. I'll make sure. You don't have to make sure, because this is my show, right? So I'm going to make sure that it happens, because I want to invite you on. Okay. Look out for your why would they have John? You better not be making a crack on my no, I know what you know, because we're talking about the pork anyway. Okay, all right. Jeff says LOL. Jordan says I'll be giving a print set every day on my stream from the 20th. I'm excited. Jordan, what happened? What if I won the print every day? What if I was the winner for just whatever fluke? I was the winner from the 20th to the 26th. Wouldn't that be awesome? I think it would be awesome. Y'all want me to win, right? So put it out there, and if you're a prayerful person, pray to God that I do it. If you're just sending good vibes, send good vibes out in the universe that says you want JPineapples /Cal/Jaime to win that print set every day, that I fulfill the requirements needed, so that Jordan's like, oh my gosh, it's Cal again. Oh my gosh, it's JPineapples today. Oh my gosh, it's Jaime P. What in the world? You say my name 6 times over 6 days and I just happen to be the winner? That would be awesome. I'll tell you what, though, I'll gift well wishes to people, Jordan. I promise. Okay. That's a great idea, John. So anyway. Okay. Guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Thank you for coming on and letting me be energized, recharged, just have a plain good time with you all. I can't believe I've been talking this long. But I just want to say thanks. I love you all. I hope you all what do I want to say? I want you all to have a happy holiday. I want you all to excel and have victories in your personal endeavors. Jordan, I hope that your Angela finishes up superbly and that your customer really loves it as much as we've all loved you taking us on the journey of creating it. And Jams, I hope your back gets to feeling better. I hope that your house is able to sell many, many comics, and the same with everyone else. So Anyhow, I am going to bounce out now too. And thank you guys for your encouragement. It means a lot. But I'm actually I'm doing this so I can try to find an outro that works good. I think this one does. We'll use season 4's outro. All right. Love you all, guys. Have a great night.